reprieve with the series headed to Cleveland. Can they avoid going down 0-3 to a Knicks team that has had a historic playoff run so far? Let's phone a friend and ask CBS Sports NBA analyst Sam Quinn what he thinks. Sam, 9 straight playoff wins for the Knicks now, the longest streak in franchise history, the highest point differential in that stretch in NBA history, the highest field goal percentage in any span of 9 playoff games since the 1987 Lakers. What is working so well for this offense?
I mean, after game 3 of that Hawks series, they started using Karl-Anthony Towns as a hub, as a passer behind the three-point arc, and it changed everything. It got everybody really involved. To really key in on this series, you watched in game 1, the Cavs totally bottled up the Knicks for the first 3 quarters because they were using big men to guard Josh Hart. Josh Hart, not a great shooter, so they just basically didn't guard him. That stuck everything up for the Knicks on offense. They take Josh Hart out. They put Landry Shamet in that game. Suddenly they're playing 5 out with shooters everywhere, and that allows Jalen Brunson with total impunity to hunt James Harden for the rest of that game. That's where that comeback comes from. Then in game 2, the Cavs try that same strategy once again. They don't guard Josh Hart, but Josh Hart makes 5 threes. That's the key to what's going on here for the Knicks. If they can get 5 players on the floor who are at least a threat to make a 3, hopefully that's Josh Hart because he does so many other things. But if it's not Josh Hart, you can go to your bench, you can go to Landry Shamet, you can go to Deuce McBride. If they have all of that shooting on the floor, they have so much playmaking, so much dynamism as ball handlers on top of that, that they can attack any matchup. They can get any easy basket that they want. You know, it's not just Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges has been great. Karl-Anthony Towns has been great. The entire team has been so dynamic. When they have that spacing, they're almost unstoppable.
Well, it makes sense because the Knicks have been very intentional, Sam, the last few off seasons in building a roster to make a deep playoff run. And bringing in Cat, as you mentioned, 2 years ago, was one of those key moves. Is it dramatic to say maybe he is the piece that does finally get them over the line?
He is having one of the best postseasons that any player in NBA history has ever had. There's an advanced metric called box plus minus coming into this series. He was having the 4th best postseason through 10 or more games in NBA history, behind one Michael Jordan run, one LeBron James run, and one Kawhi Leonard run. Pretty good company to keep. His defense, he's playing the best in his entire career. He's been much more under control as a driver. That's the key, right? What you worry about with Karl-Anthony Towns, is he going to commit a bunch of dumb fouls on offense? Is he going to throw the ball all over the gym? Is he going to take bad shots? He's really minimized that stuff, and putting him behind the arc, letting him function as a passer, it's given opposing defenses all sorts of trouble. You play up on him, he's going to drive right past you. You play back, he'll fire threes, he'll pass it around the court. All season long, Karl-Anthony Towns was very frustrated with his role in the offense. It took them more than 82 games to figure it out, but now they've got it, and he's playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, the way that everything is working for the Knicks, it would be shocking to me if the Cavs somehow come back and win this. But it's a possibility, and if they do win and attempt to even the series, it starts and it ends with Donovan Mitchell. The problem is, he doesn't look 100%. We don't know exactly what's bothering him. Kenny Atkinson said it's probably just some stiffness. Mitchell himself said he's, quote, great, but they always say that. How concerned are you, though, with his health, and how confident are you in his ability in this form to lead this team into evening the series?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't look right. You know, last round he struggled for so much of that Pistons series, but you could chalk that up to Ausar Thompson being one of the best defenders in the NBA. Kenny Atkinson even came out and said, yeah, we won that series by changing our offense to basically run away from Ausar Thompson. But then you see the end of game 1, even Landry Shamet is really doing a good job against him defensively. Game 2, he wasn't great as well. I'm looking at Donovan Mitchell right now thinking he is not 100%, which makes me wonder, why won't he be more of a playmaker on offense? In Game 7 of that Pistons series, he has 8 assists, 3 of them very, very early on, right to the bigs. You know, he had a lob to Jared Allen, a lob to Evan Mobley. If you're not yourself, make more of an effort to include your teammates. Yet through 2 games in this series, he only has 4 assists. He's really given up a lot of his playmaking duties, especially after they got James Harden. I would really like to see him get more players involved. I don't think the Cavs right now can win a star power series. the way they're going to have to compete in this series is keeping everybody involved, keeping the defense guessing, and getting those role players going, especially from deep. They're shooting lower than 30% on threes in that series. You know, Sam Merrill had that shot that went in and out that Mike Breen said half of a bang before it bounced out. Getting those threes from those role players going is going to be really, really important, and that's going to start with Donovan Mitchell being a little bit more of a playmaker.
Hurt or not, it can't be all Donovan Mitchell when you have guys like Evan Mobley and James Harden. What do you need to see from them tonight?
Yeah, James Harden, Mikal Bridges has kind of had him in a straitjacket for a lot of the series. He's 1 of 11 from the floor when Mikal Bridges is defending him so far in the Eastern Conference Finals. That cannot happen, and we saw this in the Detroit series in the second round. James Harden really struggled in those first 2 games, got it together, made the big shots at the end of Game 3 that helped them win that game, was critical during their comeback in Game 5. James Harden's been very up and down this postseason, and that's kind of what you would expect out of a 36-year-old. Doesn't really have much burst anymore, can't get to the basket the same way that he used to, but he's going to have to find some offense because the way the Cavaliers are designed, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are kind of the only reliable creators. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, these guys are kind of dependent players. They need their guards to set them up, and so do those role players taking all of those threes. Evan Mobley's not creating much offense, but he's been critical on defense. This postseason has been a really interesting case study for him, where for all of these years we've said, we want him to be Tim Duncan, we want him to be Kevin Garnett, we want him to be this ferocious, ultra-physical star. He might not be that guy, but he does all of the other stuff. Great defender, great playmaker, really good at filling in gaps. But that doesn't mean anything if his teammates can't create shots for him. Donovan Mitchell and James Harden have to be better as shot creators if the Cavs are going to win this series.
At least Mobley's playing defense, though, because James Harden has more turnovers than field goals, and he's not playing defense, and they're targeting him specifically because he's playing so bad on that side of the ball. Down 0-2 is not an ideal spot for Cleveland, but they've been here before. We just saw the same scenario last series against Detroit. They came out to win it. And for what it's worth, we have seen them be a different team at home. They're averaging a full 10 points more in Cleveland. They've lost just 1 game this postseason, 6-1 at Rocket Arena. How confident are you in them to get a win tonight?
I don't know if it's going to be tonight. I don't know if it's going to be Monday. I suspect they'll get one of these 2 in Cleveland, and the Knicks will close out in 5 in New York. Role players do tend to shoot better at home. That's been a big story for Cleveland this postseason. But remember, the Knicks have won plenty of road games already. You know, they beat Atlanta on the road to win that series in the first round. They swept Philly, although admittedly, with a lot of Knicks fans in that building, that's going to be something I'm watching tonight. Knicks fans got on the Amtrak to Philly last round. Are they going to fly to Cleveland for this one? But I think the Knicks will get at least one of these 2 in Cleveland. They'll close it out in Game 5 in Madison Square Garden. If you need a pick for tonight specifically, sure, let's give Cleveland this one. But the Knicks of this series.
Come on, Sam. We know there's going to be probably more Knicks fans out there than Cleveland because Knicks fans are crazy. But credit to them. I hope they make it far. Appreciate you, Sam. Enjoy the action tonight. Here's a look at the Cavs at home. As we mentioned, home and road has been a different animal for them. So maybe we'll see the Cavs offense turn on and possibly quiet the Knicks. Coming up from the Eastern